Hello and good morning, guys. It's 1:50 a.m. right now here, and in 10 minutes the clock will jump an hour, so then it will be 3 a.m. by the time we actually start. And that makes this a very, very late or early, depending on how you look at it, stream for me. So I hope you can forgive me any brain farts that I might make. So as it is right now, I'm going to be streaming promo games. I have no idea what will happen the first match, because on both Asia and EU I was supposed to be streaming another team if the team that I'm actually following doesn't play. But that so far hasn't happened, and I've been filling up the time with replays and stuff, so we're gonna see how that goes on NA. But hopefully I will get to commentate on some nice matches for you guys. I'm gonna take away the preview right now and show you this lovely little, basically my game. I just remembered that I forgot to do this. Just a little bit more. I always have to widen the screen a little bit so that it fits into OBS better. And I want to always use the screen as much as I can, but there is a bit of a limit, mainly because of the fact that I can't use full screen, because that means I lose control of everything else on my computer. So I am always a little bit stuck with some stuff on the side. Like I said, I will be streaming promo for you guys tonight, and they are facing, let's go see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh no, of course they're straight through to the semi-finals, so they won't be there yet. There's quite a few people that are through to the semi-finals. And quite a lot of teams altogether. Should be fun. Round of 16. I have no idea what they even mean with that, to be honest. Let's see if we can find them. I would love if I could actually just look for a clan rather than a group number. There we are. Group 9. So that should be fun. There's not that many clans that are going to be knocked out today, so in that way there's not that much pressure. But all the same, should be fun games. And I'm just gonna look if I can... Oh no, I can't. On Blitz Assistant for you, I can look at the trees and see which clan has to meet which clan in order to give us a team for to fight against Premo. And Pincer is mentioned twice. That's a bug that I've noticed quite a bit. So that's odd, but okay. In the meantime, I'm waiting for OBS to get done with the whole delay thing so that I can start to stream on YouTube as well. But yeah, so far the games I've been seeing, as much as they were, have been incredibly fun. I say as much as they were because, like I said, I have not been able to stream as many actual competitive games as I wish to. But I did have some fun showing the replays and commentating on those instead. So yeah, now we just have to wait until I get the room invite, and just hope that I get a room invite. Otherwise I'm gonna be entertaining you with replays for half an hour, and we'll see how that goes. And basically I don't know, it's always just so much fun to do the whole competitive gameplay commentating thing. If I had to choose between doing normal videos or this, I would definitely choose this, even though it's so late or / early in the morning. And it's just, I don't know, it's fun. It gives a different element. And it's just, yeah, I can't really describe it. I think more that it's exciting, and that's what keeps me coming back for more, basically. I am also keeping the chat on the side, but know that I will very likely not really commentate on anything that is said in the chat, and that is mostly to do with the fact that there's the issue of the fact that I have a delay of 5 minutes to avoid anyone seeing the lineup, and that's why anything you say in chat, if I respond to it, it will take 5 minutes before we actually see it. So that is quite useless. So I tend to avoid that. I see no room invite yet. That's a vague sign. But yeah, that could be that we don't have any matches just yet. We have group number 9, if I remember right. 9, I said. Hello? Well, that doesn't help. Doesn't let me enter. There we go. And that would mean we have a match in half an hour. It's going to be fun to watch the clock jump in a little bit. So we're just going to wait to see if the room pops up. On EU, I had the pleasure of streaming RTK tonight, and that was kind of funny because the two teams, out of which the winner would face them, actually didn't show up. So R2K was straight through to the finals without firing a single shot and losing a single point of HP. So that was funny on its own. But yeah, these qualifying stages are always, they're still fun, but matches basically don't happen quite often because of the whole ordering of the group thing, that people are straight through to the next round and all of that. And I would actually like it if they just like at random send me into a battle then, so that I at least have games to commentate on, because that's basically what I'm here for, and that's basically what you're here for as well. So let's see, I should definitely have the room by now, but we're gonna wait 3 minutes until I'm absolutely certain before I start playing replays for you. So I think I should do that. And in the meantime, I'm gonna just look up what replays I would play for you. I've got one at least, because that's also the thing. I always ask for people to send me some nice replays to use during streams if I have a long waiting time and anything. But when you have about an hour and a half to fill, which I have already between Asia and EU, it's a little bit difficult to get that many replays, especially considering the update was last week. But yeah, we'll see. The waiting game is quite boring though, so I'm just gonna check again. 2 minutes left to go. But there are 70 teams that have registered, and I quite like that. And out of those, eventually 8 will go to the round robins, and then the gameplay gets really exciting. But at the same time, if you saw the group that we're at, we also have a pincer team in the group. So depending on the tree, they will probably face each other in, I'm not sure, it says semi-finals, so that means that there's more than that, because this doesn't quite make sense to me when you have the quarterfinals still. But yeah, should be fun games all the same. We're gonna go to Oasis Palms and Port Bay in about half an hour. So I'm just gonna go call up those maps. We have Oasis Palms, which is, in my opinion, quite a fun map, but it's a little bit difficult to dominate 2 bases. C is way detached from the rest. It is my preferred location, mostly because there's the dunes and everything allow you to hide better and use cover better and all of that. Same for, I like an aggressive push on A, because you can use the rocks to hide, but if they push aggressively back, you're basically doomed. And B is more open, but generally you can keep safe if you can hide behind rocks, but that depends on where the enemy team is, because if they go through the city basically there, then you're doomed, because then you're out in the open for that bit. So usually when I have to dominate 2 bases on this map, I go for A and B, and that's mostly because you can dominate B from A really easily. And dominating in this case doesn't really mean that you have to cap, it means more that you have to keep the enemy from capping it. So as long as you're there, you can do that. So now we officially have no team to stream just yet. So I'm just gonna go quickly over Port Bay and then I'm gonna show you some replays. Port Bay is, in my opinion, quite a fun map. All bases are pretty open, but it very much depends on where the enemy is. If the enemy is camping in spawn, then A and B are the most tricky points to be in. C is pretty much covered then, but C has pretty good positioning, and if you can cap C, you can easily dominate base B. And from A, you can also dominate B, but it's a little bit more tricky because you don't have the high ground, literally. And high ground definitely does help, in my opinion. So that's an interesting map to see. As you know, that this tournament is only a best of 3. So people only have 3 matches to show what they're worth. But that's why it's also a good thing that not many people get knocked out yet today. Because we still have a stage to go tomorrow. So I'm just gonna remove that and I'm gonna play you guys a replay now, because in about half an hour we will actually get some gameplay, assuming that the teams that have to meet up actually appear and meet up. So we start off by a nice little game in the IS-5. This is a tank I've rarely driven. I have it on my account. I've only driven it on my press account. Mainly because I always feel that there's such a gluttony in tier 8 that I don't feel the added value really of getting more and actually playing them. I did get this because it was cheap and at the time it was new. I generally don't play tanks much when they're just out in the game. Mostly because the ace bar is ridiculously high. And I do like, that was a nice jump, I do like being able to ace my tanks. So he goes pretty much into, okay, that's nice, into the position that I prefer to be in myself. Smasher unfortunately doesn't make a move forwards enough for him to shoot him. And we're just looking for more enemies, which literally don't appear. That was quite a useless blind shot considering you've a reload of nearly 12 seconds. But it's probably more a frustration shot. So now we know that probably half the enemy team has been flanking. And the Sioux that they have over there is in a bit of trouble. But it depends on how aggressively the enemy pushes. There you go, that's a nice shot. Sioux did die though, so you know that the RHM is behind there somewhere as well. So you have to be careful. There goes the Dracula. He got shot a bit. He could have easily taken a kill there, not sure why he didn't. There you go, he does do it. And our IS-5 is in pursuit. This is very tricky what he does now, because the Dracula will outrun him easily and he's lucky to bounce a shot on his bum. Come on, aim, aim, aim. There we go. I don't understand this lack of sniper moding when aiming. Ooh, there's a smasher. Nice, he got a bit lucky that didn't hit the building though. But he's staying out in the open, which is a tricky thing because I'm not sure whether he's been spotted or not. And now it's 2 versus 4 and he just potentially wasted a shot. And that's not something you want basically. The enemy is capping the base, so you know where one of them is. But they decided not to do it anyway. I like how he's pre-aiming. And that means that he's getting some nice shots in. But he has to be careful of the Borsig. If the Borsig shoots him, it's, well, I wouldn't say it's all over, but it would definitely hurt a lot. But I think he is making a good call going for that guy to avoid his teammate getting into getting shot. Borsig is out of your reach, hon. Don't just waste it. Good, that's one guy gone. But now his teammate is also gone, and we enter a Kolobenov stage. Ooh, that was lucky. He has to be careful of that Borsig. Smasher is less of a problem compared to that. That was lucky, oh my god. No, go forwards. You don't want to get shot by the AMX either. That works, that does do damage, but it works. Nice. I don't understand the lack of sniper mode completely. It's very tricky to do that. He does get away with it though. Ooh, no, 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 no. Ooh, that was lucky. Will he be able to do it? That would be cool if he does though. If he manages to do this. Ah, that bounce. Even though his HE hit the gun. That is a very lucky IS-5. There we go. Nicely done. 4.4k damage. Very nicely done. Hello, Andy. And everyone else, by the way. You'll hear this in like 5 minutes, but yeah. I'm just quickly seeing what else I've got to show you. Which isn't all that much. I'm gonna go for another one. I have to go to another server to look it up. Yeah, I literally just have one really replay left, and it's not an ace, but apparently it's called Just Some High Roll, so let's see how that goes. This is tank I've really not driven myself. I think I might have done like one test battle or something. It can be so OP though. They're like mice in different tiers. This line. Ooh, I despise nicknames. I know him. So we're gonna go towards base D. In his position, I probably would have gone down the end on the other side to be more troll. Just so you know, this guy does not use premo, this guy does not use provisions. This guy rarely uses equipment and rarely uses his consumables. It's frustrating to watch at times, but he manages to do quite well in it, surprisingly. So we're gonna see how far he gets. Ooh. 17 HP left though, that's frustrating. He's in a quite nice position, but his team is definitely letting him down. Let's see what happens here. He's not getting watched at all. But he is going to get flanked now, and he has to be careful that he doesn't get basically massacred from behind. They need to make a push. They need to turn around. They need to get the bases. There we go. That was a high roll shot, but not really a high roll. And his 3 versus 6. That is definitely tricky. And he's getting shot from behind. And Ben is being very polite. This tank is such an armored fortress though. I think he's a bit over-angled right now. Ooh, that miss. Those bounces though. I have a feeling he's not gonna win this. Not sure why. He's doing a pretty decent job, to be honest. He's gonna get flanked. There we go. 2 tanks left to go, but he's showing the side and rear of his turret, and that's not gonna go end well. But he do 3k damage, and they did block nearly the same damage, so that's nice. No medals, but oh, poor team. So basically now we have to wait. Now we have to see what we can do in the meantime. And to answer the whole coin thing, I did see in the news that Wargaming stated that there would be coins. They didn't clarify when or where or how. So yeah. Just that there would be coins at some point. So we don't know. As soon as I know anything about that, you'll know as well. So I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen. Oh wait, this is the wrong link. Tournaments. And we want... Oh look, Rain and Rain are both through. Hang on. I gotta see that. How does that work? Yeah, okay, so it is 2 different teams, both with the same name. No, wait. This Rain is going against DOS. Captain by Mo and then Haxi. And you have this team with Mo and Haxi. Okay, no, it is the same. Okay. I think that bugs like these are very confusing. We have a matchup. Woohoo! So that means that in about 15 minutes we do actually get a match to commentate on. So that's really nice. I'm gonna see if I can get some other things to show you. There's one that I would love to show you, but I can't because there's a test tank in there. I'm just scrolling through the whole thing. See what I can find that might be potentially interesting to show you. Problem with the update is that it renders every replay useless, or at least useless to show on stream. So I can't really do much with that. All the same though, it has been... Oh, there we go, this will do. This is actually one of my favorite tanks. I absolutely love the STB. It's one of the prettiest tanks in my opinion as well. And I actually have a model of the STB standing alone on a plank in one of my closets here that actually Skate Extreme made for me. So that's really cool. So we start with a nice push towards A. I think the thing that I love most about this tank is how troll it is. And there's a tiny bit of turret armor, and that's enough to be incredibly troll combined with the gun depression that it has. Ooh, that's a miss. He is nicely capping though, and he's punishing that object. I think he's gonna get away with capping it like that. Nice. He has to be careful because of snipers in the middle though. A reason that I do not, by the way, play while waiting is the fact that it's horrible to watch me play PC. It's very, very disconcerting. I drive into everything. I love sniper mode. I do perform better in sniper mode than out of it. But overall, it's very, very bad. We have an AFK E3 over there. That's a good thing. That's 3 damage. And now he's circling of death. Another med. I absolutely love it. To be honest, the STB is quite a difficult tank. It's not the strongest tank around. And it's an expensive lady to drive as well. But I really love it. It's such a nice tank. I love the gun depression. There we go. Steal the kill then. There you go. So now we have 3 guys left. 2 are full health. The STI not so much. So I think Dan is gonna go for the STI first. He does take some damage there though. Ooh, that's a tracking shot. No damage done. And the kill gets stolen. Well, it's not necessarily stolen, but yeah, you know what I mean. Ooh, that's a big shot to take. Is he gonna survive this? Yes, he is, because the guy is not even paying attention to him. And that allows Dan safe passage to getting behind the IS-8. And now Diego can lock and load. And probably... There we go. It's actually the Conqueror that does it. And that's the end of the game. That was a nice match. Fun. Fast. First class. Yeah, that's definitely due to the spotting as well. 1k spotting damage, always nice. So now I'm probably not gonna risk it anymore because the room invite should be up in... Actually, still 30 minutes before it actually starts. But yeah, like I said before, it's deep into the night for me, so I hope you forgive me any brain farts that I make. I'm really looking forward to seeing Premo and Pincer both battle. And I'm hoping that they meet each other at some point during these stages, because that would be great fun. I've watched a lot of Pincer and Premo over the years, and I think they're the clans that I mainly see in these competitive things. Now, of course, you have Rain, which is a new competitor, which will be very interesting to see as well, because it's mainly made up of both Pincer and Premo, if I remember right. So just let's see. Like I said, we start on Oasis Palms and then Port Bay. I think that this is one of the games where we had mad games, one of the maps where we had mad games, and it was a lot of fun. And I think it's also a lot of fun on this map. I did dislike the mad games when we got it back, though, because I don't think it really fits on most maps. It's weird. It doesn't work out. But on maps like Oasis Palms, it definitely did. I just like the lovely little the dunes and all of that with the cover and the sneaky breaky spots and all of that. It's just fun. Well, it's now currently 3:20 a.m. for me as well, by the way. Because it's now officially summertime in my time zone. So the clock jumped an hour. So not much else I can talk about, right, really. We just have to wait. Feel free to ask me any kind of question that you have. I will still have a few minutes to answer them by the time you get to hear the reply, basically. Well, I get to see the question. I'm not sure what to show you here. I can show you stuff that is in my garage or isn't in my garage. Like one of the things, I've been driving this a little bit, and on the press account that is. And it's a fun tank. It really is. I dislike KV2s, but this thing I like. But at the same time, I feel like in EU it's €33. That is too much. So I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna get it or not. But it does look really awful. I can't say this is a pretty tank. I do like this one though. Oh god, really? I'm just responding in the chat. Honestly, don't put words in my mouth. If you have any questions about what I say, just ask it. But saying that I'm saying something when I don't is not a good thing. But I think it's safe to say that we won't be getting coins for this stream, because otherwise we would be watching through the portal, and there would be portal links, and right now the links that are in-game link directly to YouTube. And I don't think they can follow who clicks the link there, because there's also the chance of people going directly to the stream, and they could also do that on the portal. So yeah, we just have to wait and see what Wargaming says about the whole coins thing. I would like to get a bit more clear communication, to be honest. Like, same with now. I was told that I would get a different clan to follow until the clan that I actually follow starts playing. And that would have been a lot more fun. Because just talking like this and doing the whole replay thing, I like it, but that's not why you're here, and that's not why I am here either. I could have had like at least half an hour more sleep if I had known beforehand that I would not get any teams in between. Not that I mind being here, mind you. It's just everything together. I understand the confusion about the coins, but they didn't specify which streams. And yes, I know that I'm being quite evil by showing the Kenny here. It does look so cute, and it's such a little monster, and I absolutely love seal clubbing in it. Not on discount, not yet played it, but it's a fun little thing. And it's one of the tanks that on my main account I've fitted it with all kinds of little camouflages. Because it just looks so cute in pretty much anything. It was the same with the old tier ones, not the new ones, but the old tier ones. And I really regret that those got taken away. Both the camouflages there and the whole, the tier ones all themselves. I really dislike update 5.5, I still do, even though we're at 5.9 now. Oh, let's not discuss politics. So yeah, it's basically been my kind of thing that I usually would use the MS1 to go into tournament battles, but for lack thereof, I'm using the Kenny. Because why not? So we should be getting an invite soon. In about 1 minute and a half, we should get a room invite. Fingers crossed that we will actually get that this time, because that would make it a lot more fun to stream and for you a lot more fun to watch. I did hope actually to be testing as well. I didn't know that the testing program was back in order before all the screens started showing up everywhere. It's quite fun to test things. Not necessarily because the tanks, they can make both good and bad. But it's weird because it's like, you know, a secret and you're not allowed to share it. But other people that see it are allowed to. So yeah, now we just wait. The reason I chose Premo for NA is because they've been really consistent in their gameplay for the last several years. They've been at every offline. At least every off. Yeah, no, they have been at every offline. NA was always included. And that's just really cool. I think that kind of shows the level Premo is at. But at the same time, with rain rising and all of that, it will be good to see if they are still raining, pun intended. Come on, give me a room. 10 seconds. Oh, this is like the thing that I'm always worried that I will not get a room invite after all. I just really want to see the games. Why am I not getting an invite? I should have an invite. There it is. Woohoo! We have an invite. Now, about the test tanks, by the way, there's just... we have the Badger and we have the FV4005. I'm not allowed to say anything about that, even if I did know anything. I mainly, at the moment, know as much as you do. But as a CC, I'm pretty much sworn to secrecy and I can't talk about tanks like that as long as they're being tested. So it's that simple. So unfortunately, no, I can't talk about that. But now we are actually in a room. We see some nice tanks being taken, but I'm not sure if that's what they're gonna stick to. If Sulbior, I'm gonna just go with Sulbior. They have some really big guns and big armors, but they are missing a player. I still hope that there's another one coming. We see Pramo that is steadily deciding their lineup. It is always a spawn, so it's a tricky map more because you need tanks with a bit of gun depression, but also a bit of troll armor. But depending on where you actually go as a team, because this is of course quite different from randoms. Anything can always work. So we have on Premo's side so far we have 3 E50Ms, we have 3 IS4s and a 268. 3 tanks, very, I wouldn't say weird, but very special lineup in a way. You don't often see the E50M being used that much. You definitely see IS4 Gluttony, but you don't see the E50M all that much, and it's just, I like seeing it, and I like seeing that it's getting used. But it's a tricky tank. It can be troll. It's definitely good for ramming, but I always feel that it lacks a little compared to the other tier 10 mets that we have. In the meantime, Sylbior still has a guy that needs to ready up, and we're still missing someone. But we see an IS4, an IS7, well, 2 IS4, an IS7, a mouse, and E100. Ooh, there we go, an E3, and the last guy in another IS4. We have a complete team. That's good. So we have 2.5 minutes left before we actually go into the battle. We see a potential tank change, but possibly an ammo reload. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink in the meantime. Fun fact, I would drink caffeine, but I'm actually allergic to it. So no coffee for me. So less than 2 minutes to wait. We are just waiting. This is where I keep saying this every stream and pretty much every tournament thing that I do. I would love it if there was just like a ready button the team could choose, could click. And it's like when everybody is ready up, the captain clicks that ready button and the enemy captain does the same thing. And then we just enter a battle without having to wait for much longer. So that is just... Then we don't have this epic long waiting time because it's generally not needed. People generally already know what they're going to do in the battle. They already know where they're going to go and everything. DJ AW3D is right. I'm not yet in the game, but I have like a minute left to go. And there's a 5-minute delay so that no team can ever see the lineup of the other team. We basically want to know for sure that everything is kept fair. And no, I do not work for Wargaming. I'm a regular player like you. I just get press account for doing videos and for other things that I've arranged over the years. So 21 seconds left to go and then we finally get to see some competitive matches, which is what we've been waiting for. Oh, we see a grill now. One of the IS-4s has been taken out, I just noticed. And it's a grill, which can be really good on these maps because it doesn't invite campers. And at the same time, if you have a good team and they know that you are camping at the back, it can have quite a different outcome. In randoms, I'm always very much against camping. There's some... Oh, there's my Kenny. So up and away. Let's see what they do. We have Premo focusing mainly on base C, and we see that Silber is focusing mainly on the other side. And I think that this aggressive push is going to pay off because of that, because they will be able to get the base free. Because the mouse will take forever to get anywhere. The grill can't get any shot in. Ooh, that was a nice blind shot. Wow. But now they also know where the grill is, so he's very good to move from that position. But that was quite awesome. In the meantime, we have Silber that is focusing on the town. Premo does have a base and does have the point advantage now. But we see the IS-7 that is taking base A behind the rock that I was talking about before. And because there's no one there to actually challenge him, he's going to be able to capture the base quite nicely. We do see some blind shot, well, not necessarily blind shot there, but the IS-7 can't be hit. So now it's one base versus one base, but basically Silber needs to kill 2 tanks to make up for that point difference. We see some crossfire. I'm going to take you in a different position so that we see more about who fires at who. Basically, Silber is playing it defensively, but when they do peek out, they get shot immediately. Look at that mouse, just the HP being eaten away. Fire does not help with that either. And Premo is basically playing it quite nicely and safely. Silber is pulling back a little bit, probably wanting to save their mouse, but he is getting shot from pretty much everywhere. We have the E50Ms that are starting to make a move. And they just really want to get that mouse out of the way equation. But yeah, they have the point advantage, so as long as they don't let them cap base B, they can sit this one out. Well, not sit this one out, but they can play it passively. And now we have the E50Ms. They are moving in together. And I think they want to take that mouse out. And there was a bounce on the mouse. The IS-4 bounced as well. Now we got some interesting crossfire because now the whole Premo team is moving in. But it is costing them a lot of HP and I'm not sure why they're doing this aggressive move. The mouse... Ooh, that E50M is nearly gone. He needs to pull back right now. Because he can get HE to death for that. And at this point, if they play this aggressively, they could be giving away the game. So they need to be more careful. And now they seem to be understanding that, and they are being more careful. We have Chipotle that is just very low on HP there, and he has to be careful not to get shot by that IS-4. The IS-4 is sneaking. Ooh, that was a nice shot into the IS-4. We have the Marcos de Oliveira that is going around. And I think that we're going to see some E50M action again here on the IS-4. But they are bouncing, and ooh, that's Stenner losing a lot of HP. And I think he's going after the grill, but the grill will reload faster. So he has to be careful. I'm gonna go and show you that. And there goes Stenner. And Premo has to be careful because now Silber has the point advantage. And they need to take care not to lose that. At the same time, Premo is playing so aggressively, that's really costing them. They are grabbing a base now though, but ooh, that HP being lost. They're focusing on the IS-4, but at the same time, Silber is... ooh, there's 2 tanks gone, but now another tank gone and another tank gone. It's like a song. But the E50M Unique is likely to die at the next reload. There we go. And it's 4 versus 4, with Premo having a point advantage. And I think... there he goes, but he's gonna pay for that with his life. And it's 3 versus 3. And so we keep going and singing this tune. And this is just, I want to show you everything, but it's too spread out. That E3 needs to run. Ooh, that was nice, no damage to the IS-4. Okay, and this game is now, I can confidently say, Premo's. Especially as if you already look at the points, they do lose another tank, but they can afford to. They can afford to take a shot. Neither of them is a one shot for the E100, and the E100 is a one shot for both of them. And there we go. Now there's just one guy left, and he's not gonna be able to get killed and not make a kill. Nice. I like that it's trying to get me to get premium account for battles that I'm not playing. But okay. But it was a pretty intense match. I think that aggressive push from Premo nearly cost them the game. And I think it's good that they pulled back a little bit and had Zilber pushing into them instead. So now in a minute and a half we're gonna go to another match on Oasis Palms, and we see on Premo's side 3 IS-4, an E3, a 268, a mouse and a bat chat. So that's quite a different lineup than the game before. And on the other side they are still a little bit undecided, but we do see some big guns coming out there with the E3 in the grill. And 2 IS-4s, an IS-7 E100 and 1 yet undecided. But at least the waiting time is a lot less now, so they don't have that much longer to make up their minds. Come on. You do need to ready up if you want to enter the battle. That goes actually for me as well. Let's do that. It happened to me once before that I forgot to ready up, and oh my god, I was mortified. It was luckily a very short match, but it was a very fun match. I'm not playing any music, mainly because the music that I would like to listen to is copyrighted, and that would mean that I get a lot of copyright claims. Not necessarily something that damages my channel, but I prefer to just avoid that. I still need to look into what I can play in the meantime without it basically being copyrighted, and that is nice to listen to, especially the combination of the two is tricky to find. So in 2 seconds we're gonna go back into the game. Here we go. Where's my Kenny? There's my Kenny. I do like this camo. It's not it doesn't give the name change, but it is such a nice camo. It's pretty. So let's go up and away. We see Premo focusing again on C, but going for A mostly whereas Silver is hanging back and only have the IS-4 going there. But they do have a camper at the back that can get some really nice shots into base C if anyone goes there. And he's actually, look at that position. He can actually get some nice shots in over there, I believe. He did spot the IS-4. IS-4 is wisely pulling back, and the Batchet does not fire, because if he does, he gets spotted instantly, and then he might just get completely ripped. We see the first shots being taken in the city. We see the IS-4 that is attempting to cap. And now we see some shots being taken, but still not by the Batchet. The Batchet is really there to spot and nothing more. I'm gonna take you over to the middle. We have C is nicely getting decapped, but Pramo now has base A. And that means that they have the point advantage. We see a push on the lone IS-4 here. And that's gonna, probably he's gonna be deleted quite quickly. We have the Batchet that is still there, but he's now moving. And this poor IS-4 has no chance. There he goes. And I think that they're just gonna push on for this. Yeah, exactly. He is being targeted. That he's the next one to go. We have the Batchet that is going after the grill. We have an E3 that is taking a lot of damage and is almost gone. It's gonna take you over here. The grill is already gone by the Batchet. And even if Pramo does take some big hits now, they can afford to, because they're basically singling them out. And there he goes, there goes the E3. So now it's 7 versus 4. And they're focus firing quite nicely. They're making a push together for the same guys. And it's just singling them out. That mouse is almost dead, but he's in mouse, so he just tends to bounce a lot. There goes another one. And now it's just the IS-7 and the mouse. Now it's just the IS-7. Sorry, it wasn't a mouse, it was an E100. But yeah. And there goes the IS-7. And the match is Pramo is nicely done. And again, look at that difference in HP damage being dealt. That was quite epic. Lovely to see them just call, to see Pramo, I should specify, calling out those targets and then just going for them and just grouping them into little pieces to basically rip apart. Whereas I think that if Silver had been more closely packed, it would have had, Pramo would have had more trouble doing this. Oh, nice! I got a camo on the press account. That's useful. Yeah. So let's see. When is the next match? Let me go to Group 9. In about 15 minutes, and we're gonna go to Desert Sands and Castilla. But we don't know yet against who, but my guess is gonna be Pincer. No, they're against zombies. So what do we get then? They've not shown anything apparently about that. But yeah, in about 15 minutes we get the next one. So I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna make sure that that is the case, because I don't want to give you a replay and then basically not be there. It's actually fun that it still shows these times when it's actually an hour later now. So in 15 minutes, I do feel that I have the liberty to show you a replay. I do hear that it's not an ace, but I'm curious to see what happens. And we'll see. Dun 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 dun. It's not Supremacy. To be honest, when I play myself these days, I only play Supremacy. He is looking around a little bit, but he's not moving just yet. There we go. and I wonder where they're gonna go together. I like this map mostly because of the nooks and crannies that it has, and the crossfire and all of that. It's fun. I am currently today the only one that streams NA. Tomorrow, Rolling is the only one that streams NA, so it's a bit difficult for us to do the whole streaming thing because the times for NA are pretty much horrid for EU. I like the position that he's in, but it's quite open depending on where the enemy team is. This is not generally a position that I go to because I feel that it's not as effective as it should or could be. Nice first shot, nice bounce. And it's quite a fun tank, this. It's not necessarily an epic tank, but it's a fun tank. Now he just has to wait, because this is the only guy that has been spotted so far, so we know that there have to be 6 others somewhere. There's a second one spotted. There we go, nice shot. Ooh, that was a sort of pink spike jump thing. No, you don't. This is one thing that I can advise people on. If you have an enemy and you can kill them for HE because you see their bum, but if you can also kill them for AP, go for AP. You have less chance of it bouncing or hitting the gun or anything like that. And you just have more chance of it being more effective. He is making a nice call by just holding though. And I think that he's lucky that the enemy team lets him hold like that, because that Sue is gonna die pretty quickly. And his teammate is still turning around. And he is in a bit of a difficult position now, because he can get shot quite nicely there. But yeah, he does. He does manage to get away with it though. And he's basically being ignored by the enemy, aside from that TD just now. And I think that is very lucky in his case. And he's pulling back now, and that's a good thing, because if they start focusing him in, he would be in a lot of trouble. I really missed the reload button that shows how long a reload you have left, because not everyone gets it. There we go, that's a nice shot. Now we only almost 3k damage in. It's 5 versus 4. This should be going quite nicely for their team. I think that if he peeked out on the other side of the rock, as he has been doing, he would have been fine getting that kill shot. But this is a bit all over the place. It's like they're in the middle and they're surrounded, but they're not necessarily making it happen. There we go. Now it's 5 versus 2. One of them is very low HP. And we just saw a nice little ram. There we go. Nicely done. Just one guy left. And there he goes. And that's the end of the battle. That was a nice little match. Second class, but he had a high caliber. All 10 shots perfectly aimed. Or at least not perfectly aimed, but they did all pen. So that definitely helps. And now we just have a few minutes left before the room is up, so I'm not gonna bother showing you another replay. Well, actually we do have more than a few minutes. We have about 10 minutes left, but I don't want to risk it. Premo versus Vapor. In 14 minutes, so the room is up in about 10. So let's see, we saw Pincer versus Zombies. What happened to Blood and Steel? They're up against Rain, which I believe isn't in this group. So this whole way of seeing it is bonkers. Let's go with that. In the meantime, I'm looking to see if I got anything more to show you, but not yet. And like I said, I don't think I'm gonna risk it. So in the meantime, we are getting which maps again? Let me go see. Oh, we're not there yet. Desert Sands and Castilla. So I'm just gonna be calling them up while we wait in the garage for the invite to pop up. Desert Sands, I feel, is a map that I both love and hate. I don't think it makes for incredibly interesting gameplay, but it is always nice to see where people go. For me, I always prefer going towards base A, because I feel the positioning in the desert is better than in the town, and you can get shots into base B from base A. At the same time, C is more secluded, and if you are driving a heavy tank, it definitely is the better way to go. On its own, that is, not necessarily in a team, because you can safely cap it. But if the enemy makes a bit of an aggressive push, you're doomed. You can also decap base B quite nicely from C or the surrounding area. But the thing that I love about this map the most is the fact that if you shoot one building in a specific place, you get Shai Hulud, which is the worm from June, which is a franchise that I'm really big fan of, and I've got all the books. So that's something I always go A here if I can. If I mean it's super heavy, then no. But if I have something a tiny bit mobile, I would prefer the desert over the city. And after that, we're gonna get Castilla. Castilla, I always find a very tricky map because I feel it's more team dependent than most maps. And that has everything to do with all bases being pretty open. In certain ways, there's always certain lines of fires that can work out really well. At the same time, I feel that the north spawn is slightly more useful, I would say, than the south spawn, mostly because of base A. You can more easily cap base A and then retreat towards the citadel than you can from the south spawn. Because if you go to base A, then you can't just go up, because then you're just driving into the direction that they're shooting you from. So that's something you want to avoid altogether. So this is a map that I wouldn't say I hate it. I think I dislike most of that. It's a camper map. There's so many spots where you can really safely camp from and get shot from, basically. And that's one of the things I dislike. I'm not a fan of campers. I always feel that there's a big difference between YOLO and not YOLO. But you don't have to camp in a TD. Especially if you have quite a mobile TD and stuff like that. So that's something. And if we still had time, and I might do that after this match, I'm going to show you a replay that I actually showed on one of the other streams as well. Mainly because it shows how much fun it can be to not camp in a TD. And it's a game that I actually quite love. I had such fun when I watched it the first time and commentated on it. It was awesome. So I'm just gonna find that. Yeah, okay. I've got it like ready for when we actually want to see it. But for now, I'm just gonna wait for the match and not risk it. Because now it's only a few minutes before the room will be up. And in the meantime, I'm gonna have a quick look at the chat a little bit. Not much happening there at the moment. So we are just waiting. I'm gonna take the map away so that I don't forget to do that, because that would be dreadful. That you have like half a match visible and not the rest. And because of the 5-minute delay, I wouldn't notice it in time. So in 9 minutes the match start, which should mean that the map, the thingy will be up in 4 minutes. I'm gonna see how they did. Of course they won. And they're up against Blood and Steel. it's so weird. Because the teams are, look, Oh, Pincer is listed in this group here. They're not even supposed to be in group 9. They're just here. This is like very misleading. So we have Premo versus Vapor, which isn't listed here. I don't know where Vapor went. Super was there, but there twice. There's a lot of clans here that are not supposed to be here. Oh my god, this is a bug. I will be reporting it to Wargaming. See what happens. I was really hoping for some Pincer Premo action tonight. This is sad. 7 minutes remaining. Room should be up in like, well, almost 3 minutes now. So we just have to wait. This is basically the boring part about streaming these things, especially when you can't show another replay. But yeah, that's it. And we just have to find stuff to talk about. I can't talk about the testing, so that's a no-go. I can talk about the whole tournament thing. I love commentating competitive gameplay like this. It's just so much fun, and it's interesting to do. It's different from randoms and from sub-replays and all of that, because mainly it's just, this is what happens when 7 players become a team. Or at least for the most part. I still believe that 7 players in one team will always perform better than basically 7 good players. You can have less stats but be a team and thus win, and then 7 good players, because especially in competitive gameplay, if you focus fire together, if you have like a general idea of what you want to do, okay. If you know what you're gonna do as a team together, you can be so much more effective. And this is just, yeah. That's why I love these games, because this shows the potential of the game when you get a team that actually really works together. And I would love to have like things like global falls, but at the same time, it would be so incredibly toxic. So in like 40 seconds I should get the room invite, and then we get to go see some more games. Again, sorry for the bit of brain derp and everything. It's very late here. I'm tired. I love doing this, but it does literally eat up my night. And we're gonna see some proper gameplay, and I hopefully hear some proper commentary from me in a few minutes time. Dun 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 dun. Come on, give me that invite. Please give me that invite. This is the stuff that I always worry about it. There we go. Because with all the things that have gone wrong so far, it's so easy for this to go wrong as well. And I really don't want it to. Okay, so no real lineup yet. We do see a spectator over there. I like that they are letting other people spectate, because that makes calling, I think, easier. It's difficult if you have to be a captain, and you have to focus on the game as well as being able to give commands and everything. So we are just waiting for Vapor. I would like it if they just showed their team a little bit so that I could commentate on it. They probably don't know that there's a 5-minute delay on the stream, if they are realizing that they are being streamed, that is. And that's especially so that people don't know the lineup of the other team before the battle has actually begun. Because by the time you all hear this, it's 5 minutes later and the battle have already begun. And there we have a Rijk. And he's actually in as well. And now we see the other team popping up. That is just, hang on, I gotta remove that. That is just sad. So on Primo's side, we don't have a definite lineup yet. They're still discussing it. I have a feeling that we will not be seeing the W's that blaze in this game. Just a hunch. But on V2's side, we now see a 268 and E3, an STB, 2 IS4s, a mouse, and an STB. Oh, no, I did say the STB. That's an interesting lineup, combining quite a bit of firepower with quite a bit of armor and quite a bit of mobility. And on the other side, aside from the blaze that is definitely not going to be used in the battle, we see, there we go, 2 268s, an IS4, 3 E50Ms again, and a Batchat. So that's a lot of speed. I think the slowest tank in there is the IS4. So that's going to be cool to see, because Desert Sands, I think that there's definitely going to be a focus on the desert side. At the same time, you can throw off your enemy completely by doing completely the opposite of what they think. Whereas the lineup from V2 has me thinking that they will probably focus on the middle and, well, base B and C. Probably base C, because they have little mobility there and it would take them a long time to get everyone into the desert. So we now have a minute and 18 seconds left to go before we actually enter the battle. I like that Primo is using so many E50Ms. I'm not sure if that will work in later stage. At the same time, these stages are not the toughest, mostly because only a few people actually get knocked out. And they're pretty safe in the knowledge of being able to go through the next round. So in 40 seconds we are actually going to hit the battle, and we're gonna see what they're gonna be doing. Like I said, I have a feeling that Primo is definitely going into the desert. That would make sense. It would be my preferred side as well, because I feel the positioning is so much better there. But I'm very curious to see where V2 will go with this lineup. Here we go, 7 seconds. And again, I love these camos. I like it when it's a bit colorful and a bit strange. There we go. Let's go up and away and see what they do. We have the STB that is going towards the town. They are definitely focusing on the town. Whereas Tanner is staying there, which can be very tricky. But he is staying in a position where he can just very easily go forwards. We have the E50Ms going over the hill nicely like that. And capping together with the third one now joining them. And the STB is staying at the train tracks, probably to see where everyone is going. The STB has been spotted, but no shots being taken yet. But there he goes, big shots from the other side, as the guys near the train tracks are shooting him. He is pulling back now though, and ooh, that was another big shot into the STB. V2 has got a base now, but Premo got theirs before them. So as long as they hold and no one gets base B, Premo is basically safe. So now we have ECV has basically turned around a little bit to deal with what they feel will be people coming from this side. But the mouse is in a cheeky position over here, side scraping on the side. But if Premo were to attack from this side, which is quite likely, then then V2 will have a problem. The STB is almost dead now, and Premo is waiting quite patiently. The Batchat is going to go and have a spot, I believe. But mostly they're all in defensive positions, and Premo is content just to hold because they have the point advantage, so they can afford to. It is actually V2 that has to make the push. The IS4 is getting some nice spots in for their team. The mouse missed a shot there, but he's in a pretty good position, pretty good side scraping position. And now we see V2 is actually moving, and Tanner needs to be careful there. They are definitely pushing, they won't get base B, and you see Premo responding immediately and everyone going into the town. Massive shots being taken into that E3 there. And there goes the E3. They are pushing for Tanner, but Tanner is something that basically can be sacrificed when it allows them to get tanks out of the way. The STB is gone now. Tanner will die, but it will cost them quite dearly. Look at the HP pool just vanishing, and the way that they are focusing on the same target. I absolutely love it. They are going for that 113. 268 did get a big shot into him there, though. And now Premo has 2 bases. V2 basically got lured into the desert but has no bases. And they lost 3 tanks at that. And they are not going for the base. They're pushing in. They want to get that 268 out of the way. And they do. But again, it will cost them so much to do this. And I think that's a very tricky thing of the E50M to do. But they do get the 113 out of the way. And I think that there goes the 268. And now it's 5 versus 2. And they're gonna leave the mouse for last. Because, well, there he goes. The IS4 is almost dead. Nice ram kill. And now it's just the mouse, which is the hardest to take out. Sorry. But they already reached 1k points. And they won the battle. Nicely done. It was fun to see this. So now we have the next match in a minute and a half. And we see Premo is now going for 3 IS4s, an IS7, 2 268s and a Batchat. And I think the Batchat's function is mainly just to spot. At the same time we have V2 that is discussing what they're gonna drive. And we see some tanks being changed there. And one of them is taking E50M, and I wonder if that's in reaction to what Premo is driving, or if that's a tactic that they discussed beforehand. So we see V2 currently with an IS7, 2 IS4s, an E50M, an Object 140, an E3, and now a lost IS4 again. Similar lineup, slightly different, little less armor, little more speed. Sorry, my throat is itching like no tomorrow. And it will be cool to see what they do with this lineup. And they now have... Oh, they have 2 spectators now. That's cool. Same with Premo. And in 7 seconds we got to go. Here we go. Love, by the way, all the different avatars. They look so funny. And there's my Kenny. And now they, V2 has the upper hand when it comes to the speed. But they are actually focusing on the city, and I don't think Premo thought of that maybe, because that could have been earning them a free cap. But we do have the TDs going where they should in the desert. Both looking at a side. Shots being taken already. This is aggressive push by V2. And now Premo is just going in. They need to take out those in base B. But this is gonna be a bloodbath, regardless of how you look at it. Bad chat bouncing. And we see one E50M that is getting deleted over there. And there goes the first tank. Tanner is almost gone though. They do manage to get base B. But this is funny gameplay. There's another IS-4. There's the E50M gone. Tanner is also gone. Basically, the HP pool is just being massacred. We have these two that are not being able to get shot by the campers, but the campers are moving in so that they can get behind them. And that's what TDs are good for, massive damage shots. And there we go, there was a big shot in the bum of that IS-4. And we see another one in the side now, and basically it's 5 versus 4, but there's so much more HP on Premo's side. There goes another one. And now there's just a few tanks left, and this is not looking good for V2 at all. Especially now that it's 5 versus 2, and it's an E3 that just bounced on IS-4. And basically now it's just free game. Who gets the last kill? Well, the last 2 kills. I'm focusing on the E3 because the Object 140 has just disappeared. And now the E3 is almost gone. And there he goes. That was a very, very quick game. Less than 2 minutes, guys. That's quite cool though. Look at the difference. They did about double the damage that almost with like maybe 100 something difference. Almost double the damage that V2 did. That was quite cool. So let me go check if we have any matches tonight, because I don't trust the way that it's looking. Because I think we do still have finals, but it's so confusing. Do we still get matches today? Yes, we do. We got, Premo versus Void. Noise. In about 20 minutes. That's definitely going to be an interesting match. Cool. And let's see the maps. We're going to go to Faust and Fort Despair. I love Faust. Faust is one of my favorite maps. So I'm just gonna go to OBS and I'm gonna call up the map. Here we go, Faust. Faust is something that I utterly love. I like that you have the tunnels and you have the bridges and you get the sneaky shots from one side of the map into the other side of the map. It's not necessarily a map that invites camping, but you get just really quirky shots and I absolutely love it. It's fun. So we have base A, which is basically the map base. I prefer to go there and then just see where I need to go after that, personally. But again, that is in randoms, not necessarily in tournament games. In tournament games, you have a team, so you behave differently. You have base C that can shoot B and base D that can shoot C. You have base B that is a lot more open, but there's a train in the middle, so you can get away with capping it very cheekily. But you have to be careful there. And just all the way that your team can support you by being in certain positions, but also where if the enemy pushes a certain way, they can get absolutely massacred, basically, because your team isn't there. And I love the map, I really do. And if we get the third map, then we go to, where did I put it? Fort Despair. And this is a map that I'm less of a fan of. I like the whole, the way that this map invites certain positions. At the same time, I always feel that the map is so small, and that makes it difficult to do certain tactics, it's harder to push because you're spotted easier. It's quite open. All the bases are quite open. I think C is the most protected of all of them, and A is the most open. At the same time, A can be pretty easy to cap, mostly because people tend to focus on the C side. Of course, yeah, Raid lost Twisted Cup pushing their grill over here and stuff. So, yeah, it invites interesting gameplay, let's put it that way. At the same time, I dislike the small maps. I like the bigger maps a lot more because so much more can happen. So that's basically Fort Despair. We still have about 15 minutes to go before we actually enter the battle again. I'm gonna show you that replay now that I was talking about because it's a lot of fun. If you ever wonder how I feel people should play TDs, this is definitely the way to go. Come on. Oh, come on. Why you no work? There we go. This is a game. I had such a love with this. And as I said when I first showed this game, this was my first tier 10 tank, the Yege. I absolutely love it. I love this sound that the gun makes. Haven't played it much because I always feel TDs are a bit, well, not, I wouldn't say underpowered, but not as much fun as they used to be. And I prefer the fast tanks right now. So we have the Yege, Dan in the Yege. And notice the name of the T-54E1. Useless git. Still quite surprised that names like that managed to get through. And I like that he's not sticking there to camp. The useless git is actually staying back to camp. And we see some damage getting in there. And we see the Batchat pushing. And Dan is gonna stop at this little bush. And he's just gonna wait with HE until the Batchat shows himself. And there goes the Batchat. I love this. I like that he's pushing so aggressively. I like that he's just not holding back and just making an aggressive push. And just going for it, basically. So now he spots the tortoise and he wants to go for that. And the tortoise also wants to go for him, but he bounces and he bounces again. And that's a nice shot into the tortoise over there. He's in a cheeky position, hiding most of his lower plate, making it very hard for the enemy to hit him. And he's angling quite nicely. He does have to be careful with that IS-4 though, because this is a difficult position to shoot him in. So he just has to wait. He loads the heat. He has to wait until he can shoot. He does, and he pans. And then Dan is like, yeah, I'm being too passive here. I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna go on ahead. I just really like this game. And I'm glad that I got to show it again. And Dan is being nice and aggressive. And I think that everyone that would meet him is like, what? When you see a tank like that coming. And there goes the E50. With the IS-4 that is waiting. Basically he's now being damaged quite a bit. And now he's just an HE ball target. But Dan isn't the one that kills him. He manages to bounce basically. So now Dan is going to go for a cheeky cap at base B, but this is even more fun. Look at that butt. And this is what happens when a Yege gets behind you. It's just so evil, I love it. And Dan is just like casually doing a 4k damage right now. He doesn't manage to get a shot in there though. But I like that he doesn't just go very aggressive. And this... There we go. Another 800 damage in. Now we're at 4.7k damage. His teammate dies. And there's only one guy left. We know where he is, but the trick is that with 3 bases, you don't know if he's going to get there in time. Would be nice if he managed to get this shot though, but unfortunately he doesn't. He's a tiny bit too slow for that, because if he had turned a little bit more, he would have gotten that chap shot, and that would have been even more epic. But this is how I love it when TDs are played. Not YOLO, but a little bit aggressive. People don't expect it. People get freaked out when you do that. He got like 1.4k assisted damage, which I love. This whole game is just so much fun. And now we wait again. Let's see. I'm gonna go back. I always check and double check and check again the times. We have about 15 minutes left to go, so that's 9 minutes before the room is up. I'm gonna see if I can show you one more game. A cheeky game. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this, because Darren is proud of it and he would like me to show it again. The replay thing is not really working with me. There we go. Oh, thank you, Maddox. That's so sweet. I'll look into that for sure. It's a bit hard getting anything at 4 AM in the morning, though. This little tank that Darren is driving, I really like it. It's such a cheeky little thing. It's a little bit of a monster. It does die easily if it does get shot at, but it's so much fun. So he makes a push for base A, which I think is a good call because they have one fast tank more than the enemy team. So they should have this side. And Darren just goes straight on in and waits to see if anyone is there. He is in a position where he can push forward quite quickly to avoid getting shot. But he is managing to cap this base without being spotted and just basically free cap. And considering his team did not cap a base, that means that there's lots of supremacy points waiting for Darren at the end of this battle. He does spot a guy here though, and this is where you see what a cheeky little thing this tank is. The way this... it also helps probably that the Panther is a bit of a potato and does not have much of a clue. Darren just waits patiently, basically using the Panther is missing again. And he's just unloading his clip, and there goes the Panther. And now Darren is reloading again. At the same time, it is now 6 versus 4, which is not all that promising. But Darren goes and just decides, let's go and shoot this KV2 before he can shoot anyone else. He does get the kill. Then he decides to reload the clip, which I think is a good call if you know that you have no enemy like right next to you. He's not going to go for the base, or he is. He's deciding to go elsewhere. And now it's 5 versus 3, which can be tricky. So he goes for the base and he goes and starts shooting this guy. And then you see this shot hitting the wall. But he does manage to get that blind kill. He moves then so he doesn't get shot himself, captures the base, and now it's 4 versus 3, and they have 2 bases and the enemy has none. So that can only go well that way, as long as they survive. But there are some big guns left. He manages to not get hit by that, which I think is probably more luck than anything else. So Smasher is now getting some shots into him, including a high roll. He does get shot by the Sioux now though, which is sad. But then he just waits until he reloads the clip. Now the Smasher has fired. Darren has almost reloaded his clip. And the Sue is sort of hiding. And now he has 2 shots left, which is just enough to kill this guy, if not for the fact that he bounced. But the Comet does die by the other Comet. And now he's almost reloaded. The Smasher dies. And now it's just the Sue, but the Sue's looking away, which means 3 shots in the rear. And now we have... There we go. 3 kills, 2.3k damage. 1 guy left to go. And he has a lot of supremacy points. He's the only guy that got bases. So aside from the kills, he's getting a lots and lots of... Oh crap, I'm so sorry. I just noticed that. I removed it. Sorry. Luckily, it's just a replay. I'm just glad I don't do this in the actual battles. At least not anymore. Oh well, at least you get to see Darren kill the last guy. Cheeky. Does he get the last kill? He should. There we go. He gets it. Like I said, at least it happens here. And I was looking a little bit at the chat, which isn't something I usually do, so that's fun. Yes, I know the map. I'll make it up for you tomorrow, because then I will still have things to fill and I can show you these 2 replays again, but then properly. Oh my god. So yeah, now that the map is actually gone, again, my apologies. I'm just gonna wait for the room to be up. I know that the map is still there for you. There's a 5-minute delay, guys. Honestly. Just don't cuss with diseases. What is wrong with that? It's not hard. I can't change the delay because the room, the first room is always up for 5 minutes. So you want to avoid anyone seeing the lineup of the other one. I can't change the delay because that's basically what it is for. It is basically to just avoid people seeing the lineup of the other team and having no possibilities of them stream sniping or knowing what the enemy is doing when we enter the battle. It's live enough. And like I said, these are the guidelines that we get by Wargaming, so I can't really do much about that. So 5 minutes is 5 minutes, can't do much about that. Okay. Yeah. In 1.5 minutes about, I should get the room invite. And I'm just really happy the map thing happened now and not in the tournament battle, because that's actually what you're here for. Yes, that I am. So now we just wait for the room invite. I like having a mortifying moment on stream like that. But as I said, I remember that last year, I believe, that I did it once with a tournament battle. and that was like really, really bad. It was just an image of the map, and it was there for most of the tournament battle, and it was absolutely useless. But yeah, I'll show you these replays again. I love them. You're gonna have to see them properly without a map being in the image. That would definitely help. Aw, thank you, James. That's really nice of you. Yeah, I wish it was an April Fool's joke. Like I said, I'm just glad that it didn't happen in an actual tournament battle and just in a random replay. I'm not going to be streaming all the matches for the spring tournament, mostly because the NA server is difficult to stream, mainly because of the time zones involved. And that's because any time that I play, that I want to stream NA, it's 3 AM in the morning. And that's why I can't really do this much outside of the weekends. So yeah. Okay, the map should be gone pretty soon for you guys as well. So we are already in the room. We have a blaze again, but I don't think that will stay there. Jokes about returning the map. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. We still have about 4 minutes to go. You will understand the whole thing about the delay soon. So now we have V that has pretty much agreed on what they're gonna drive. We see 3 IS4s, 2 113s, a batch at an object 140. And on the other side we see a VK, I haven't seen that one yet, a mouse, 2 E50Ms, a batch at, a 268 and a blaze. And the blaze is hopefully gonna change. I'm just gonna assume that that's gonna be and we're just gonna wait. We have 3 minutes left to go. I'm not gonna risk showing you maps again because we all know that's not gonna go well this time of night. And we're just waiting for the last tanks to ready up. There we go. Void is all ready now. And on Primo side we still have the blaze. That map thing is still going to be a meme now, isn't it? To be honest, I am laughing at the chat right now with all the map comments. That was the map we deserve, not the map we wanted. Oh my god. Okay, so in 2 minutes we're actually going to Faust, not that it's not for despair yet. And like I said, I love Faust. And now the blaze has been exchanged for another TD, which is the E3. So we have on Primo's side the VK, the mouse, an E3, 2 E50Ms, a Batchat, and a 268. So that's a nice mix of extreme armor with extreme speed. Well, not necessarily extreme speed, but speed. And in the other side, we do have the 3 IS4s, the 2 113s, the Batchat, and the Object 140. And we just need to wait for the battle to begin. I think with this lineup, Primo can literally go either which way. And I think they're going to focus on the base closest to them and base A, because that would make the most sense with this lineup. But again, that is what I would assume. This is tactics. They all discussed what they're going to do. And we'll see what happens. 1 minute left to go. I think that with the lineup of Void is more even this way. It's a nice mixture of a little bit of armor with a little bit of speed. And in 30 seconds we're gonna see what they actually do. This is, by the way, why I dislike the whole delay thing, but I understand why it is needed. And in 7 seconds we get to see the actual match. And there is no map in the way. That definitely helps. Ooh, that's a nice camo. Looks nice. I like the black one with the stripes more though. Looks more pretty. So we have Primo that is dividing itself a little bit into base C and A. And we have Void going more for the middle and, well, also a bit the same thing. But they're going to go for 3 caps by the looks of it. We have the heavies that are pushing on A. And that means that the Batchat is going to get a pretty big scare, I believe, soon. I think he's positioned quite wisely in a way that he can move the moment he gets spotted. He's not even risking it. He doesn't want to get shot by those guys. He's pulling back. We have Primo that is now has C, but we have Void that has D and B, and they're gonna get A soon as well. And we have the fast tank from Primo pulling back. And now, now they're getting A as well. And Primo needs to make a push. They need to get the bases. They have to just get those points back, because otherwise they're gonna lose on points. And I think this is a very aggressive push by Void, and I think it's a very good call, to be honest. We see that the mouse is now behind the train, capping the base. They are stealing base D as well. That means that soon it will be the other way around, and it will be Void that has to make the push. But they are pushing back towards base D, and the Batchat is actually looking at Tanner, and he manages to get it despite the Batchat spotting him. And he's a bit lucky with that, because now Primo has the upper hand and they need to play it safe and just basically wait for it. And I think that that's the problem with where Void went. A is a bit away from the rest of the bases, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to hold other bases when you're there, where B, C and D are so close together. And now they are making a little bit of a push at base D. I'm gonna see if I can show you that, because this camera does not always work well with the buildings in Faust. We have the VK that is taking some shots, but he is also bouncing. And they're making a push together. Primo is basically converging on the location of Void. We have Tanner that is losing quite a bit of HP, but they're getting shots in the side as well. And they're focus firing and HP being lost all around. But the 113 is losing quite a bit of it. It only has 600 left, so that's 2 shots and then he's gone. And that leaves the IS-4 here. We have 2 IS-4s that are a little bit more above, but they're not going to make it for long, especially with that IS-4 looking the other way. And they don't really have a choice, but now Void is losing tons and tons of HP. They lost the tank. Primo also, but still, if you look at the difference in HP pool, that's 3k. And Primo is taking out more guns out of the equation, and now there's only 3 guys left. One of which is a Batchat. And now they're just... We have the Object 140 and the 113 over here, and Primo can take a few shots without too much trouble. And they already have the game now because of the points, and damage is still being done, but no more kills. That was a pretty quick game, pretty aggressive from both sides, and I think that if it had been the other way around, if they had forced Primo towards base A, then it would have been quite differently, but it was too hard to hold the B, D and A together because A is too far apart, and that's where the heavies were. Overall, really fun games though. So now we get another match on Faust. We see a different lineup in Primo. We see 2 mice, 3 IS-4s, a 268, and potentially a grill. Or a Death Star. At least both big guns. Or a Foch. I think he's undecided. Or a Blaze. Okay. And on the other side, we see 4 IS-4s, 2 Batchats, and a 113. And eventually, the Blaze guys, even Steven, decided to go for a yay. So in 30 seconds about, we're gonna go in. And we're gonna see what they're gonna do, if they're gonna go for a different game. They have quite different tanks now, so yeah, there's definitely an IS-4 Gluttony, but there's pretty much an IS-4 Gluttony everywhere. Because at the moment it's one of the most competitive tanks, because it has a bit of the armor, a bit of the firepower, and a bit of the mobility, if it doesn't excel in any of that. So in 3 seconds, here we go. We keep sticking to unique, but this time he's in an IS-4 and not in a Batchat. So let's see what they do now. We have Primo focusing more on the middle, I believe. We have Void focusing on base C and towards base B. I think that can be very aggressive. It can work out really well. The mouse is taking a little bit of time to get to the base. He's not capping though. I have a feeling that they're more pushing, but they are capping with the other mouse. Now base B is cheekily being capped as well, but base A and C are Voids now. But Void is again focusing a lot on the A side, but Primo is now much more in the middle, so I'm not sure if this is going to work out for them. And I think they're going to push for base C as well and have that same base advantage that they had before. We see some shots being taken. So far, the only one that has taken damage is one of the mice. And now the mice is making a move and going towards... or he's not, he's turning around now. But we have another mouse that is going towards base C. And I think that what they're doing now is tricky because they're pretty spread out. And the mouse is hesitant to move in, mainly because of the IS-4. But the other mouse is turning around now as well. That was a nice bounce. And that was a big shot into the Batchat. But overall, base A has now been abandoned, aside from the Batchat that is all the way at the back there, but unspotted. And we see that Primo is now also capturing base C, which I think is a very cheeky move. He might not get away with it, even though it is a mouse. Now he's being rushed. And he's pulling back nice and safely with the other mouse. We see some big shots being taken, and they're trying to get base C back. This is what I mean with camera jumping. That is not really necessary. And there are shots being taken and HP being lost. There's a big shot. And another... Ooh, that was one deleted IS-4. And we have 55 HP left for the 113. Tanner just died. But look at the HP just vanishing over here. This is basically... Everyone is shooting everyone. I'm gonna see if I can get you closer through here to show you a bit of the action. I can't enter the building because then it jumps again. And basically we see people disappearing left and right, and it's honestly the Batchat is doing the Batchats both have the most HP, but they are now facing mice and IS-4s and Jaegers and everything, and this is not looking good. The mouse might die though. But at the same time, the Batchat is all the way to the back. There's only one little guy here. And he's not gonna live for much longer, depending on who reloads the first. And we're almost at the end of the battle. I think the lone Batchat will just survive. He is getting some shots in, but they can't really shoot him there. Not easily anyway. Oh, they can. Nice shot by Rijk there. Awesome. I love the cheeky shots like that. That was lovely. Again, I think it cost Void the game mainly because they focus on base A so much, and that makes them not dominate enough of the map to make it work, basically. At the same time, this is just the qualifiers, and you don't necessarily have to win all the battles in order to go through. So it could just be having fun with it and seeing what happens, because I believe that both of them are through to the next round. I'm gonna see what Pincer did. That's still going. I'm gonna go to our group, which is still showing really weird things. Yeah, this is basically all of what we're gonna get tonight. Very nice battles by Premo. Quite lovely to spectate that and commentate on. Especially that very cheeky ending with that shot from Rijk. But that's basically it for tonight. I will be back in, let's see, 7 hours it is? Yeah, 7 hours for the second day of the Asia stream. And then we're gonna see what happens there. And after that I still have the stream in, whatchamacallit, I can't brain anymore. The Europe stream, of course. I'm just gonna have a quick look at when I'll be back on streaming N8 games. And that will be on April 6th. Because that's next weekend, next Saturday, basically. Well, Saturday for you, Sunday morning for me. I'd like to thank you all for watching. It was a pleasure. Sorry about the map thing again. Glad it didn't happen in a match. And basically, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any feedback other than pro map or anti-map, please contact me on Discord and just let me know. And I'll be seeing you guys next week. Good night.